So the aftermath of the All for One versus All Might fight. But before that, I just gotta say, Bakugo's mom, though. Bakugo's mom. Oh,
that's how it be though. Nothing but great effort just to get a C though. Eyes watching, but we never seem to be though.
This episode of My Hero Academia, definitely a lot of somber feelings, somber moments, and all around everybody picking up the pieces and collecting their thoughts and just everything of how do you move forward from here. You know, this icon, this legend, the guy that helped everybody feel safe and at peace, and kind of knowing a little bit that the world is in good hands. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that is an all-around protector. In a sense, All Might was kind of like a god in this world, you know what I'm saying? Because as long as they knew All Might was doing his thing and protecting the citizens and always around, everybody felt like, yo, worst comes to worst, All Might will, you know, solve the issue or the problem. Now that they all know of his true form, they seen what happened at the end of the All for One fight and everything, you know, the world is going to be in a state of limbo right now. Who do we have to look forward to? Endeavor is such a hothead, and, you know, he doesn't have the nicest personality. Ain't nobody gonna be smiling from Endeavor. You know, the only smile I get from Endeavor is seeing him taking an ass whooping or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's just gonna have that worry now that All Might isn't the guy that he's been all this time. So definitely everybody picking up the pieces. I started talking about, I believe it was the cops, but it was just this all-around big authority, and a lot of people at the table kind of talking about, well, we shouldn't have trusted all this into one person to begin with, and a lot of different thoughts there. Kind of makes you wonder if we could go a route of like The Incredibles, and people eventually start saying, yo, we don't want to trust heroes to be this big thing anymore, because look what happens when one of them goes down. Then the people lose trust, and everything that happened with UA. People are going to start looking at things differently now that, again, All Might not necessarily took an L because he did win in the end, but overall he took an L in the public's, I guess, perception of having that hero around, you know what I'm saying? So definitely a little interesting aspect there. Since we just mentioned him a little bit ago, let's talk about Endeavor, because now, you know what I'm saying, Endeavor, he finally gets what he wants. Hey, you're number one, bro. You're numero uno. But it didn't happen the way he wanted, and I could definitely relate in a way, like, you know what I'm saying, when you're in a competitive thing and you're trying to do your thing and you giving it your all, and something happens to your competitor that kind of knocks him out the race and you become number one by default. It's not the greatest feeling in the world, because you tried and tried and you kept going and giving it your all to one day surpass him, and then now you don't have that opportunity anymore. It's just kind of like, well, what do I do from here? Where do I go from here? Because again, that was my goal. That was my mission. Pass him with my own strength. And when you can't do it with your own strength, and he pretty much got knocked off from some other aspects, and you're now number one, it's not, you know what I'm saying, it's a Pyrrhic victory in a certain aspect, because it's like, damn, I'm number one, but this isn't the way I wanted it to happen. And you see he's very stressed out. Todoroki comes in there, and he has the room all on fire and broken apart, and he's just really raging. Endeavor was already, you know, a little bit of a scumbag type of guy. I can imagine what he's going to be like now that his whole reason for living for a while has been thrown out the window, in a sense, because All Might isn't All Might anymore, and he's number one now, Endeavor, but not the way he wanted. So it's interesting, because Endeavor and Deku, both of them were living for All Might in different ways. Endeavor for surpassing him, Deku for just, you know, this guy inspires me. He's like a god to me in a way. So very interesting stuff there. Again, Endeavor's just, you know, he's a bit of an asshole, you know what I'm saying? So now UA has decided they are going to go dorm style. They want the kids to live there. I do think it's a smart move, because you got to look at it like, okay, just, you know, a few episodes ago, the villains were targeting one of the students, you know, Bakugo. They went and they kidnapped him. They succeeded in kidnapping him. Obviously, they didn't get all the way, because eventually everything that happened. But you gotta imagine, if they're not going to be at UA, which, don't get me wrong, yes, that happened at that trip or whatever, but it didn't happen like them just being at the school and somebody broke in, you know what I'm saying? Because Aizawa and everybody would have thrown down. It happened in an orchestrated attempt. So imagine if these kids, again, like Bakugo, he's just at home throughout the year waiting to go back to school and stuff like that. It's gonna be a little bit like an easier target. Like, oh, we just got to go and bust down this dude's house. We just got to go to his house and yank him up, or any of these students. So they're more at danger being at home often than being in the compounds of the school, where the teachers are more aware now, like, yo, the villains aren't playing, they're really coming for our kids, we have to really lock shit down. We can't just sit around no more and be like, it's whatever. No, we have to be very precautious with this. So I personally think that that was a great move. And you've seen some of the parents, you know, in the beginning, a couple parents, they're like, yeah, we're all for it. They were trying to play the strict thing, but everybody loves All Might so much. Fast forwarding a little bit to Bakugo's parents, that was very interesting. I was hoping, and I remember when I read the manga, I was really hoping for this, I was hoping there was something more with Bakugo's dad, because we see his parents, his dad and his mom, whatever. His mom is pretty much identical to him, maybe not as much of an asshole as him, but definitely hot-tempered and all that. And of course we have the counterpart, the opposite, the father that is very timid. You could tell that man has given up on life. Even eating the booty probably ain't helping him no more. She probably don't even let him eat the booty. She's like, you a wimp, you can't eat this, you can't. Yeah, Bakugo's dad has a hot woman, but he ain't ready for that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't ready for that life right there. You could tell. But overall, very interesting aspects there. Because again, you can see a lot of the parents are like, hell yeah, go ahead. They're not thinking too much of it. But then the interaction that came after the meeting with the parents. When Bakugo went outside, because again, at the last episode at the end, Bakugo saw Deku crying while everybody was cheering. He knew there was something off. He's always kind of suspected certain aspects of what's going on with Deku. What is his connections with All Might? But then truly seeing him crying there after the you're next type of situation, you're next up or whatever, Bakugo was really like, there's more to it. He's crying. This is an emotional attachment. What's going on there? Of course, All Might doesn't want to tell him, because that'll give him information that if the villains ever catch him, bam, they'll yank it up out of him. So Bakugo's kind of just there like, it's fine, you don't gotta tell me. I think he took it more as an understanding, I hope. It wasn't as a, All Might, okay, you don't want to tell me. It was more so disappointed, like, damn, I wish he would include me in on it. What's special about Deku that you could have this bond with him, but you can't have this bond, or tell me even about that bond that you have with him. So I think his feelings were hurt more so than him being angry about it. Just kind of like, why do you have this bond with Deku? What is it? And why can't you tell me? I'm your student too, right? I'm one of your beloved children of, you know, this class or whatever. So you can definitely see Bakugo was kind of more so, again, emotionally hurt, just like, I'm not special. So kind of interesting aspect there. Now, the one that surprised everyone, obviously, was Deku and his mom, because you would immediately think, out of all of them, if anything, you would think Deku's mom, she's such a softie and such a kind and jolly woman, that she would immediately be on board with, yes, this is what my son wants, All Might protect him, BIUA. But she was the exact opposite. I loved and adored the flashback, by the way, the flashback that we got of when he was a kid coming in as a hero and she was hiding. It reminded me of my childhood. Just switch it up and put Ninja Turtles, and yeah, that was me and my mom when I was like 5 and stuff like that. So very nice and cool moment and touching and whatnot. But then the interactions with All Might. And that was I definitely, the way they played it out throughout the episode leading into that, the most heartfelt. And you would think, like, after this big, gigantic, really emotional moment that we had last week, nah, they can't tug at the feelings, but they did. And that was an incredible job that they did as well. I mean, for starters, you just see in the beginning, All Might all injured and everything, you're ready, you know what I'm saying? But getting into that moment where All Might bows on the floor, it showcases how much he truly believes in Deku to be the successor. You know, him saying, I truly believe Izuku is my successor, please, because, you know, again, the mom is against it. She's like, my son's been hurt too many times, maybe another school or something, but not UA, which would have been a terrible move, because then the villains really would have struck, because if they already have this insight about who Deku truly is and his connection to All Might, he's a target. He's a walking target. And I loved as well, again, a lot of really awesome moments in this episode. I loved when Deku was like, I don't even care. Even if it's another school, I'm going to be a hero, Mom. And I definitely respected as far as he's going with it. I think something very valuable that this whole ordeal with, you know, All Might losing his powers and everything, but still living, it was something very symbolic, because we've seen in anime and manga time and time again that in order for a character to get that character development, that moment of like, yo, they've matured, is seeing death. And it was interesting that All For One at the end of the episode brought it up, but like, you know, a Naruto, Jiraiya's death, and a lot of these where the sensei dies, that's where they get the character development and everything. And in the manga, I remember it was controversial because people did want All Might to die. I was kind of like, it had its good and bads or whatever, but definitely seeing it here is like, in order for the teacher to truly become the teacher and truly shine, the hero had to die. So in a sense, All Might did die. The hero, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? There's no more. He's done. But now he can be a teacher and truly push Deku into the direction he needs to go and truly be there, so that way Deku will, yeah, okay, he was like, when they had that little meeting on the beach or whatever, like, you defied me, blah, 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 but he can truly get him to the point where he will listen, and he will understand sometimes when All Might says no, it's no, and he needed the hero to go away for him to truly be the teacher. So very awesome and amazing moment. Loved it. Got the waterworks rolling a little bit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, but it was overall very touching. Of course, Deku's mom coming around to the idea and saying, fine, I know this is what my son wants. I want my son's happiness, but please, you know what I'm saying, live for him. And that was something very powerful as well, because All Might said, you know, I will die for him. I'll put my life on the line. She said, no, I want you to live for my son. You're my son's reason for living to begin with. Please go on and teach him and raise him to be great. And that was really powerful as well. Overall, very awesome Aftermath episode, because it's very hard to match up with an episode like that, you know what I'm saying, what we got last week. And to be able to do that in a somber time, a collective time, kudos to them. Then, of course, the end of the episode, seeing All For One being in captivity, very, I like those moments. I like those moments because, you know what I'm saying, when we saw Stain in that, you know, type of area, whatever, when he was caught up and they finally captured him or whatever, now seeing All For One, it's very interesting. It's like, okay, you know, so what's the next move for him? And him talking about, it was almost as if he was referencing what a lot of people think about anime and manga, that the sensei does need to die. It was like, you missed your chance to die, to help your student learn that he has to be on his own. You need to go to a place where they can't reach you. Obviously, All For One is in a place that Shigaraki can't reach him. He's in captivity in a very enclosed place that if Shigaraki tried, he'd probably get busted and all the heroes would whip his ass. So he knows he can't get to All For One. And of course, we see at the end of the episode, Shigaraki suffering because he's already mentally damaged from whatever's happened in his past. All For One was pretty much like his father figure. That was kind of like, you know, the person that put him to where he is now. So you can definitely see he's very affected and hurt. This is going to make him even stronger. Unfortunately, especially on the villain side, this is going to make him an absolute monster because you took away my father, essentially, my father figure. Now I gotta go that much harder. Very interesting there. And lastly, of course, the conversation between All Might and Gran Torino and them talking about Shigaraki's connection to All Might's sensei is very true. Gran Torino hit the nail on the head. To All Might at this point, and anybody that respected that woman, they're not going to be able to do the right thing and look at Shigaraki from an objective standpoint of, he's a piece of trash. You know what I'm saying? He's a villain. He's garbage. He's human filth. Because, again, the connection, and Shigaraki, he don't even give a crap, you know what I'm saying? If we start diving in and finding more about his past and exactly what happened with his parents or whatever, why, you know, things went the way they did, then we'll know a little bit more. But as far as he's concerned, All For One raised me, I'm a villain, I hate All Might, that's it. So, yeah, All Might could get killed trying to go and reason with Shigaraki when there's no reasoning behind that man. He doesn't care, or kid, shall I say. He doesn't give a rat's ass, you know what I'm saying? So, very interesting stuff there. Overall, fantastic Aftermath episode. I didn't think that they could do something like that in an Aftermath, but they did. Shine very nicely again in the moments of All Might and Deku and his mom. Hakugo's mom, though, oh my god, I can't get over it. Woo! Kind of curious, you guys' thoughts on the episode. Did you tear up? Did you feel as though for an Aftermath episode, they really lit it up? Favorite moments, what do you think? All Might's surviving, but the hero All Might dying. Do you think that that was more powerful than if All Might would have died against All For One? Do you think that them kind of changing the formula and allowing him to live and truly just become a sensei and teacher to Deku rather than being the hero was the right way to go? And your overall thoughts of the episode, honestly, a lot of the moments, it was heartfelt. It was a nice heartfelt episode. But that is all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, stalk my Facebook, and follow me on Twitch to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day.
We making major moves, laughing at the haters.